the Q&A here for clear communication. And I am so important, so valuable that I have set it up to where I have an echo that's more efficient. That way I can go ahead and say it once, but say it twice, but only using one piece of energy. Sometimes I just crack myself up. Do you all find me as humorous as I find myself?
Yes.
See, that's Nicole's just caring. Like this next year is the year of caring. So Nicole has found that that's a caring thing to say, and so I appreciate you being caring. So for that, Nicole, I'm going to give you the first opportunity. Questions, comments on anything we covered today?
Yeah, you had an interesting comment. You said assign things to people who are lazy. So how do you build your level of expectation for lazy people? I know we talked a while ago about, stay right outside of someone's dimension.
Are you familiar with Are you familiar with the killer whale training principle?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember.
It's fine. It's in EC2, but there's a lot in EC2, right? So, I mean, it's like how you're supposed to go ahead and internalize everything. So it's like, oh, it's somewhere in there. Like, how do I know this? That's why it's so important to be part of EC2. So the killer whale training principle, do you know how they train killer whales, Nicole?
No.
What did they teach you with your accounting and marketing degree? Oh, that's right. You don't have a management degree. See, I have a management degree. That makes me a management expert. So what they taught me in my degree in management is how to train killer whales.
Okay.
Actually, they didn't. I missed on that. I think you ought to ask for a refund of your degrees, and I should ask for a refund of mine, although mine were a lot longer ago. But anyways, the way they train killer whales is there's 3 of them, and they somehow try to get one of the 3 to go ahead and have a good behavior. Do the behavior they want them to do. Then what they do is they play with them. Now, I'm not saying, Nicole, right?
I remember.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, see? So I'm not saying, Nicole, that just because you're part of EC2, that I'm going to play more with you than I am other people. Like, I would never do something like that because I'm a very caring person, and so I'm not going to do that, obviously. But that's what you do, is you play with people, and you don't play with the ones who, don't invest into themselves, don't work hard, just don't play with them, like, as much. Does that make sense, Nicole?
Oh, yeah.
I had somebody, I won't name who it was, somebody said, there's a general that went ahead and he liked lazy people. And I'm thinking, what? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So we were in Annapolis. Again, that's hard workers. It's people who take ownership. They were there. The people who didn't work so hard, didn't take personal ownership, they weren't there. Again, that's just being a caring person by pointing that out. But anyways, we were in Annapolis, downtown, and I asked this person, I said, hey, because we were just waiting for the van to pick us up for the hotel. And I'm like, I'm going to use my time productive. So I said, hey, you mentioned this a few years ago about how this general went ahead and liked lazy people. Is there a story out there or something on it? And the guy said, yeah, there is a story. And so he brought it up on his phone, or my wife's phone, I'm not sure, one phone. And I went ahead and read it, and I'm like, that's so funny. I mean, it's so funny because the general said he liked, lazy people because he could put them on the front lines. The ones who are hard workers, he kept them close. I'm like the person who got the story was so lazy, they didn't even read the whole story. Like, yeah, you can be lazy and end up on the front lines, more likely to die. Like, it's just, so this comes back to, parenting. And so on each of the 4 personalities. And so when you look at the clear communications, you're going to learn about personalities. So each of the different personalities go ahead and are motivated by different things. And so what causes pain for one personality, causes pleasure for another personality. And so my 7-year-old grandson, he's told me once proudly that he was lazy. He's never said that again to me in his life, ever. When he was 5, he said that. 2 years, never said it again. But he still is lazy, and he's manipulative too. Grandpa loves him a lot. And he and I are going to make a boatload of money together, but he's very manipulative, and he gets his 5-year-old sister or his 5-year-old brother to do the work for him, and he gets his 2 twin sisters who are 2.5 years old to do his work, and he gets his mom, dad, and his grandmother to do the work too for him. The guy's a genius. Like, I'm studying him a lot, but he's a double expressive personality. So he's a double expressive personality, so he loves to be lifted up. He loves to be the center of attention. So I'm making him the center of attention by exposing how lazy he is. So he's the center of attention, which he likes, but it makes him look bad, which he doesn't like. So now his senses, his little 7-year-old boy senses are all mishmashed with Grandpa. But he's learning, a lot from it. He's working to go ahead and start his own company so he can earn enough money so he can become part of EC2. Amazing. So does this help, Nicole, or not so much?
No, yeah, that helps.
Beth, what would...
And last night's
yes.
webinar helped too.
How so?
When you did the case studies.
Right?
That's when it clicked. Yeah.
Do you know when I came up with case studies, Nicole?
What, last night?
What, you think I prepare last minute? No, I came up with them 32 years ago. Seriously, like that's a planner. But I haven't used them in the last 32 years. It's probably hanging around my grandkids that's reawakening, the boy in me. I'm like, you got to put case studies in, Mark. You did it, 32, 33 years ago. Why aren't you putting case studies? So it was when I was right out of college. I did so many amazing things right out of college, it was insane. So glad that was helpful. So I was thinking, Nicole, and again, I don't want anybody to think this is we're getting ramped up for the year of caring. And so we're like this year I've made 7 mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so next year we're going to track every time that I'm an uncaring person. So if any of you ever see that I'm uncaring, point it out. Because I want to know so I can track because you know what people are saying right now? They're like, well, let me talk to your wife about the 7 mistakes. I'm like, she's free to track them too, absolutely. So they talk to her, and when she said, they go ahead and say, your husband said that he only made 7 mistakes all year. I think 7 mistakes is ridiculous. How is she even married to me? That's a mistake more than 1 mistake every other month. Like, that's insane, right? Like, that's crazy. But she says, she starts laughing. I'm sure it's because she knows that I haven't, made more than 7. Anyways, don't want to digress. Nicole, you're so fun to play with. Beth, you're part of EC2, so I'm going to get to play with you as well. What would you like to accomplish today, or questions today?
I don't know. It's interesting listening.
What's interesting about it, Beth?
Good questions, good answers.
Oh, I thought you were saying you're charming and entertaining spirit, Mark.
Oh, sorry.
I'm thinking of becoming a comedian.
Oh.
Yes, Kevin King, who's on the screen right now, he had He had 3 strokes. The last one almost killed him. I visited him about a month ago, and anyways, he said he's the first one in my life that said, Mark, you ought to be a comedian. I'm like, really? He's like, oh, yeah, you'd make a great comedian. I'm like, why? He's like, because you're willing to tell the truth. I'm like, oh, well then, I guess I would make a great comedian. Anything you want to accomplish today, Beth?
No.
Does anybody know what Beth wants to accomplish on a subconscious basis today?
How to get the rest of her team to join EC2.
Okay. Ooh, I think you're right. I didn't even read that one. Wow. Okay, nice. Anybody else know what else Beth is thinking on a subconscious basis? See,
what do you think?
Nicole, she's taking the special course in EC2. There's a lot of sub things there. And so she's taking the subconscious mind readers, portion. So she's now can read people's subconscious. It's a great skill to have. So she's learning to do it. It was very effective. I was thinking that she cared so much about Tanglewood that she wanted to go ahead and share with everybody at Tanglewood some of the insights that she's had as it relates to discovering your life vision and sharing it and why people don't share it.
Oh, that's right. You remembered that you thought I should talk about that.
I mean, it brought tears to my eyes, Beth.
Yeah, you said that.
Sometimes Beth doesn't
Have
believe
you all
me.
shared your life vision with other people?
What's that?
Have you all figured out what your life visions are?
So
Mine's a work in progress every day.
can somebody translate this? Again, we're in clear communications mode. So can somebody communicate? Can somebody translate what Nicole said? She said, not so much.
She's ever evolving to
That means not so much.
not concrete.
Not concrete. She's a little afraid of sharing it. I didn't even know until Beth shared what she shared. It never even crossed my mind. It never even entered into my brain. When I read it, I teared up, like tears running down my. I'm like, you got to be kidding! I never thought of that before. Man, I love Beth. If Beth was here, I'd give her a hug. Like, I wouldn't even care about the harassment stuff. I'd give her a hug. It's like, that was amazing. That touched me. I'm like, that explains so much. Are you guys curious? Not so much?
I am curious why.
So, Beth, why is it that people don't share their life vision?
Possibly they're afraid what other people will think. They might be afraid that once they've said it and then they fail. Afraid to actually take the time to look deep inside and see what it is. Those were 3 things I thought of.
So either they don't cry very well much, or it didn't touch them, or something. Like, that was just, like, I was like, that makes all the sense in the world. Why didn't I think of that before? Questions? Thoughts?
What if people just don't know?
Well, again, it takes 20 minutes. Draw a circle, list all your passions around it, bring it to, your art mentor, and they or somebody they know will help you discover your life vision. like Nancy, she didn't know, and so I'm like, really, Nancy? Like, she is attending mastermind seminars, a great thing for people to do. So I just went ahead and got frustrated after a day or two. I'm like, come on, Nancy, just do it. And she couldn't. I don't know why. So I just took a napkin, drew a circle, and I just started listing the things that she was passionate about, and then it took off from there. I knew she's passionate about music. She's passionate about art. She's passionate about people learning from their mistakes. Like, there's a ton of stuff. And so I just started writing all this stuff. She finished it. And then, I don't know, a couple years after that, I was right after my mom died. I was at dinner with them, and then Nancy wanted to live her life vision every day. And I had botched up because I was so consumed about writing this white paper and bringing so much value to Tanglewood that I hadn't focused on Nancy. So I started crying right in front of the waitress and them. Everybody's like, what's wrong with him? And my mom had just passed. And so, anyways, so you just help them out, I guess. You just list the passions. Do you think you could come up with more passion, what you're more passionate about, Nicole, about yourself? Or do you think I could come up with more things you're passionate about?
Things that I'm passionate, probably you.
Isn't that weird? Cheryl, what would you like to accomplish?
I need to work on my communication, so I think I need to reread the white paper.
And get your two art buddies to do it too. Elise, what would you like to accomplish today?
That's a great question. I think my thought is just how to help each participant reach their goals. So whether that be goals for December or this week, or getting really clear on their quarterly goals going into 2020, and how this group can help with that.
Wow, that's a lot. All right, so if you're listening to the rebroadcast of this, connect with your art mentor, your two art buddies, have them listen to it. If you thought it was beneficial, you say, wow, there was a lot there to go through. The only way you get the Q&A is to be part of, either the group when we shoot it, or EC2. So there's a whole bunch of these out there. So you want to participate. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. God bless. Have a great day. Bye.